What's up guys, I'm Holly and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am a fitness trainer, motivation coach, and an online running coach, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I started this channel because I believe I've struck the perfect balance of feeling really dedicated to my fitness and training for races, while also living a normal, happy, healthy social life. I want to share those tips with you so that you can find the same for yourself. I'm really excited about today's video because I'm going to hit my top 5 questions that I get asked the most as a personal trainer and also as a motivation accountability coach. Now these will be related to fitness, but they'll also be related to your everyday life. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started with question 1. Beginner or new clients always ask me, how do I make sure I don't fall off the wagon? In other words, 3 to 4 days of the week, I am solid, drinking water, getting sleep, hitting my workouts exactly as I intend to hit them, and I do not miss a beat. I don't go out. I don't order food in. I really am dedicated. By that 4th day, something happens, something comes up, or I'm too busy to do one of those things, and I completely let myself go. I just tell myself, okay, 2 or 3 days to regroup, and then I'll come back to it and I'll restart. What do you do in that situation to make sure you don't keep failing at your system? Now, my answer to this one is really simple, and it's actually right there in the question that they asked. If you're speaking in terms of failing or falling off or restarting or that kind of thing, and you look at everything as a stop-go situation, you're already in a poor mentality to build something long-lasting. One tactic a lot of people use when they're trying to lose weight or build fitness or diet, I would say, is to cut out distraction or temptation. So the focus here is on blocking things out and hiding from things we like as a way of getting on track. Now that mentality alone is just a problem because the reality of life is that those temptations will always be there and those social situations will always be there, and oftentimes they do bring you happiness in some way. So I would say that if you're looking at your fitness journey separate completely from the way you were living your life, you're already gonna lose. What you wanna do is find something sustainable that you're not gonna run away from, that you're not scared of, and that you're able to stick with. Bottom line, if you were living a certain way and you then make drastic changes to every part of that life all at once, you're never gonna be able to sustain that, at least from a mental perspective. You're gonna be really unhappy and you're gonna be really jarred by how much is changing at once. So I would say make small changes or one change, like how you're eating or how much you're eating or how many times you're working out in a week, and start with that and leave the rest of your life the same. Over time, you're gonna see results and changes. There are other pieces that help build to that, but the confidence to stick with it comes from not biting off too much in the beginning. Without a specific event or vacation to get ready for or look good for, how do you stay motivated daily? This is one of my favorite questions to answer because for a lot of people, I've been able to shed light on one of the forgotten about parts of the fitness journey. We're so fixated on fitting into the size 4 jeans or showing up, absolutely snatched for those beach photos on our vacation or whatever, that we completely ignore the part that led us to that place. I think the daily grind is actually the most amazing part of anyone's fitness journey. The mental benefits you get from putting in the work every day and watching yourself stay dedicated way outweighs anything to do with that 1 day of photos or that 1 week of vacation. I think that's the important thing to remember here, is that how you feel related to what you promise yourself you're gonna do is a big part of your confidence showing through. The smile on your face comes from how good you feel about yourself as a person and as a dedicated athlete. Thinking of things in periods of time or events to get ready for and then drop off when they're not coming up is a really unsustainable way to build any sort of foundational mental strength. So beyond just how you look, how are you challenging yourself daily to stay on track and to actually give yourself those health benefits? To me, it's way less stressful to actually just build a daily routine that I love and want to show up for every day, rather than being 3 weeks out from that event, realizing I still don't fit in the dress. How do you make sure I'm not going to feel totally overwhelmed as a complete beginner? Now, both as a strength coach and as a run coach, I've worked with all levels of athletes. True beginners, people who had never done a push-up or a squat, threw up every single one of our first 5 sessions, to people who were winning trail races. And I will say that no matter who I was working with, I always could relate to their day one because I went through it too. I remember my first session with a personal trainer, my legs gave out completely. We were doing lunges, I'll never forget. I was holding a 25-pound weight over my head, and I remember my legs completely gave out, just buckled, and I fell to the ground. And at that time, I thought I was pretty fit, so it was really weird. But I also was like, I never do weighted lunges. I've never done this before, so of course my legs are giving out. Being new at anything is difficult. I am someone who hates doing things that I suck at or know I'm going to suck at. But we sign up for things to make changes. Usually hiring someone to do something or signing up for a certain race or number of classes is you promising that you're going to end up in a different place in a couple months. So when I work with beginners and I work with brand new people, what I try to do is create circuits and workouts for them that get them just towards the edge of feeling uncomfortable. So those first couple of weeks are really about doing things half that they already know and half that they really don't, but watch themselves do 1 or 2 of, to eventually build that layer and foundation of confidence to keep going. So it's not about killing yourself and watching yourself transform. It's about you getting in the mentality of realizing, wow, I actually have more in here than I realized, and I can keep showing up to do it despite hurting, despite getting sore. Another piece of this in the beginning is going back to question 1 when I said, don't tackle too much. Don't obsess over too much in the beginning. I've had people really get excited about these workouts to the point where every day they're coming in with 10 questions. How do I get my squat lower? How do I balance on one leg for longer? How do I make sure I don't get out of breath after 30 seconds of jumping jacks? On top of that, do I start cutting out bread from my diet? I'm drinking 2 liters of water a day. Is that enough? I'm sleeping this much. If you go full speed ahead with that kind of thing, you are overwhelming yourself. And what I would suggest is picking 1 thing per week to just have at the front of your mind. Let the other pieces fall in. You'll realize, especially if you've found a stride eventually, that all the pieces work together. They're not one-off things that you focus on. Actually, everything works in cohesion to give you the best results, and it really feels natural eventually. Question 4 is a running-related question. Can you train for a race and live a normal life? I'm really proud to say that I don't have a single regret when it comes to race training. I have done a lot of races over the last 8 years, all different distances, and I found a way in each of them to work really hard towards my goal without sacrificing everything else in my life that made me happy. I really believe that there are times in our lives where we look back after the fact and are like, wow, we went psychotic to make that happen. We changed everything about how we were living. We were super hard on ourselves, and we got what we wanted, and wow, like that was a crazy chapter of our lives. I don't think I could ever do that again. I hear that one a lot. I don't think I could ever train like that again. For me, running was an outlet from my very serious, strict dance career. I was using it as a way to feel free, released, proud of myself in a different physical way. So I knew that I would be absolutely jeopardizing those benefits if I turned it into another crazy strict portion of my life. I'm not saying I don't believe in training plans, because I definitely do. I know that it takes physical and mental dedication and a plan to get through any finish line or any accomplishment. What I'm saying is that in every race, I don't look back and see a 4-month period where I put my blinders on and only thought about that race. I'm someone who kind of operates in a plus-minus system. So for example, if I went on a really long run on a Saturday morning, that night I am great to go out and have a burger and maybe a beer with friends. If I didn't do that run, I'm likely gonna make healthier choices with my eating and drinking later in the afternoon. I kind of just always go off of what did I do and what didn't I do. And if I can find balance in a daily version of that, I can usually find balance in a weekly and monthly version of that. Something really important to remember here is to not compare yourself to other people training for a similar event. I was so squashed by this in the beginning when I started running. I was always reading other people's numbers and speeds and how long they ran, and I was constantly feeling bad about myself or inadequate. There was always somebody who had done more than me that weekend. And for me, I realized that was actually bringing me down. All of a sudden, this thing that was supposed to be my outlet wasn't anymore. I was just really overwhelmed with stress about just not doing enough. And what I recommend to you is just finding a way to live where running brings you joy and can for many years. I'm, like I said, 8+ years into this running journey for myself, and I still love it. And I think that's because I've been able to keep my normal life alongside it. All right, my fifth and final question today is this. What do you mean when you say, I'm capable of so much more than I think? This topic is something that means a ton to me, and honestly a big reason why I started this channel. We are basically big accumulations of what we do every day. And it's up to us to build a foundation, build a supply of self-confidence and drive to pull from when we need it. What I mean by that is this. If you promise to yourself you're gonna do 6 things that day and you get 3 of them done, that's 50% follow through on that day. You add that up day after day, month after month, you've done a lot of things you said you were gonna do. On the other side of that coin, if I focused my energy on the fact that I didn't do 3 of those things day after day, my self-confidence is gonna be basically non-existent. If you guys are familiar at all with Ed Milet, he's a motivational speaker, really well known now, but he came from a crazy struggling upbringing and background, and now basically gives tips for people to become successful coming from nothing. Something that really stuck with me that he said was about self-confidence, and he essentially said that your self-confidence is a direct result of your follow-through in your own life. So what I was just explaining before, everything that you do that you said you were gonna do is laying foundation for you to trust yourself. And trusting yourself is essentially self-confidence. So on any hard thing that comes up, any difficult moment in your life, if you're able to look back on a time where you did what you needed to do, you'll be confident to be able to do it in that moment as well. In my own life, I believe that every day I show up for something or put work into something, even if it's 30 minutes, from a mental perspective or a physical perspective that day, I will be adding to my pot of self-confidence and trust in myself. In the middle of a really hard race, in that 100-miler I ran in October, I can't tell you how many moments I had where I thought to myself, what other hard moments have I had in my life that I got through because of me? And I was able again to push through. It's a really incredible tool and something that if you can start thinking about now will make a world of difference in your life. I hope that even one small part of this will stick with you for the rest of the day, maybe even the rest of the week, and that we can do it again soon. I really enjoyed doing this video because I am super passionate about everything I talked about today. I'd love to do more just for you to have on in the background when you're doing something or driving. These are really important to me, and I think we should be talking more about how to stay motivated. So in the comments, please drop any questions you have around this subject or anything else, can be fitness related or not, and I will cover those in a future 5-question video. In the meantime, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys another day. Have a good one.